Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of the Main Street Talk podcast, your go-to podcast for all things Disney World related. All the news and the ever-changing updates that seem to be happening these days, and the tips and tricks to make your Walt Disney World vacation easier when you do make that plan to go. I am your host, Nick, and as always is Joni.
Hi.
So we are recording on July 5th. So all the news will be current to July 5th, and we just want to say, I hope everybody had a great 4th of July weekend.
Yeah.
I know we did. Hope it was a safe and fulfilling weekend with you and your family. We had a mini block party at our house. We live on a court. So our neighbor had two of our neighbors had a lot of fireworks. So we had a cookout, had some friends and family over, and lit off fireworks all night,
Yep.
well, until 10 o'clock.
No, it was a little bit before 10.
Was it before 10?
Yeah, because we have a noise curfew, which I'm sure most people do.
Yeah.
And we respected it. And
Yep. And so in Illinois, we have legal and illegal. They've gotten a little more lenient on what they consider legal. But
our neighbor had the illegal.
yeah, our neighbor went to Missouri and spent a lot of money. So we had some pretty big ones. But it was a fun time. No police were called.
That's
so
right. That's right.
That's always a good thing.
We definitely let freedom ring, for
oh,
sure.
Yeah, freedom was booming. Two of our youngest grandkids over, which we had 4 grandkids here, actually.
Total, yeah.
One's a baby, and the one is 7, and then we had a 3 and a 2-year-old. And I didn't know how the 3 and the 2-year-old were going to react because they were so close to the fireworks. I mean, they were a safe distance.
We had earphones or like the headphones, the noise canceling for them just in case.
But they loved them.
We didn't even need them.
No. I mean,
they laid on a blanket and...
Yep. Had M&Ms and glow sticks.
Yep.
And, yeah, I didn't know how that was going to go.
That's because there was like 83 kids in our front yard at one time.
All the neighborhood kids were running around our yard.
Playing tag in the dark with glow sticks.
And we had a 2-month-old here, but he slept through it all.
Yeah.
He didn't see it.
Nope. That's okay. He'll get his time.
He'll get his time. So, this is exciting. This is week number 2 of our Walt Disney World Growth Chart Poster giveaway.
Yeah.
Week 1 winner was last week. We contacted the winner, and the Growth Chart poster is in the mail.
Yeah.
On the way. So this is week number 2, and this eventually leads up to the big prize, which is that $50 Disney or Disney Plus gift card to be given away on August 25th.
That's right.
So the week 1 winner is not eligible for any more posters, but they are still eligible for the gift card.
Remains in the running for that. Yep.
Yep. So exciting.
Keep sharing. Tell your friends.
Yeah. All you got to do is subscribe. If you are subscribed to our email list, you are in it. So you can just go to our website, mainstreettalkpod.com, and there's a subscribe button on there. Just enter your email, and you are in it.
Okay. And with that, let's get on to some news.
Yeah, let's get on to some news. A lot of news coming out of Epcot this week. But we're going to start with Magic Kingdom just because, I don't know, on our vacations, we always start with Magic Kingdom.
We always start with Magic Kingdom.
So we're just going to
because that's a 2-dayer. That's a 2-day park for us.
So the only thing I could really find out of Magic Kingdom that was news related, like, there's always stuff coming out of there, but not enough, not really worthy to talk about. But Disney has cut down hundreds and hundreds of trees in the backstage area of Magic Kingdom to set up the laydown yard for Cars Land. And there is construction vehicles back there, so they're getting ready. They're clearing land.
I know it has to be done, but I'm going to be devil's advocate here and cutting down all those trees.
It's got to be done.
Eco-friendly.
Yeah.
What's going on? I mean, I know it has to be done to make way for the room for it. And I know they do a good job. They even plant and harvest their own food, for the restaurants and for the animals at Animal Kingdom and things like that. But that's a lot of trees.
It is a lot of trees. It's a lot of work that has to be done.
Yeah.
And they got to have room to...
Well, maybe they'll plant some others around the surrounding area.
I saw a picture of where the trees were being removed from.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they haven't officially announced where Villains Land's going to be, but the laydown area for Cars looks like it might be where Villains Land will be eventually. But that doesn't make much sense to me because why wouldn't they use the same laydown area for both lands?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The overhead just kind of looked like that to me.
I don't know. For as many times as you keep saying lay down, it's making me think of the song Lay Down, Sally.
It's a lay down area.
Anyway, it's kind of late here.
It is late. It was a long weekend.
Yeah, very long.
So we're going to get over to Epcot.
Okay.
A lot of the news is coming out of Epcot, and it all revolves around Test Track.
Mm.
Well, not all. Most of it, though.
Okay.
So the DVC member preview has been announced for Test Track. The DVC member preview will be placed on July 12th, with registration opening on July 8th for those who meet the eligibility requirements. To participate in the preview, you have to have a qualifying Walt Disney World Resort hotel reservation booked prior to July 6th. You have to use your membership to book the resort stay.
Tomorrow,
That
guys.
is tomorrow, yeah. Well, at the time of recording, yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to have this out for that. Oh. Hopefully everyone got in on it that wanted it.
They have to use their eligible membership to book the resort stay, and you have to be staying at the resort on the event date, which is July 12th. Now, when they say eligible membership, I believe that means you have to be a Blue Card member. You have to have all the bells and whistles of DVC. So the resale members will be excluded from this.
Okay.
And with that, also, Disney has announced that the annual passholder preview for the Test Track will take place July 13th through July 19th, with the exception of July 17th, when there will be no previews. And I didn't see why that was.
What is the 17th? The date? What day is that?
I don't know.
Let me look.
But just 80 minutes after Disney announced the annual passholder previews, it had already reached reservation capacity for pass holders on the first day, which is July 13th. So, it took an hour and 20 minutes for them to announce pass holder days for the opening day, July 13th, and it was sold out.
Wow.
Yeah. People have been waiting for that.
Yeah, everybody's sitting by their computers waiting for that news to drop.
Pass holders will need to follow a two-step process to participate. Securing a park reservation for Epcot on the day of the preview, and then joining the virtual queue using the My Disney Experience app. So, those are pretty big news for the DVC members and annual pass holders. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I don't know if anybody got a chance to see the video that's been out there of the new Test Track. It looks amazing.
Did Disney put that video out?
I don't think so.
Or was it another personnel?
No. Disney has put like clips here and there. But no, I think the one I watched was not official Disney.
Okay.
But it was really
so
cool.
Just basically get on Google.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's happening. Okay.
I didn't put this in the news, but I did read this. Apparently during the cast member preview, when before the doors open, when you get ready to go outside and launch and
Yeah, where we got stuck.
The track vehicle hit the door.
Oh, no. Well, that's a good thing they're doing the testings then.
Yeah, that's why they test
Maybe that's
things.
why they're closing on the 17th to repair the door.
I don't know. But at least for the rest of that day, the door remained open.
Oh,
yeah. I understand. It didn't hit it. It wasn't going fast.
It's not going to be like an impact,
but
hopefully.
Yeah. But
you never know. I mean, that thing goes fast. Yeah, that's the fastest ride.
But you launch after the doors open, but I don't think it was launched. I think it would have been a much bigger story if it was launched and they crashed through the door.
Yeah, I don't think it would be opening for trial runs and to the public soon if that was the case.
It did hit the door.
Oh, no. Oh, my God. Was it empty? Were there people in it?
There was cast members on it.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What an experience that was. Huh.
When it does open to the public on July 22nd, Test Track will be part of the Tier 1 Lightning Lane.
Oh, okay.
It's kicking Soarin' out of its spot.
Okay.
Soarin' will be a Tier 2 when Test Track opens.
Okay. So I'll have to change that in my notes because I've got a log where I keep track of all the tiers and rides and whatnot. So I won't change it now because it's not the 22nd, but I will make a note to change that update.
Yep. Soarin's getting booted to Tier 2, which I completely understand. Test Track's going to be very popular for at least a year. And Soarin' is...
I love Soarin'. What you got to say about Soarin'?
I like Soarin', but if you can go later in the day and have a 30-minute wait, And then also at Epcot, Disney has released the full 2025 Eat to the Beat concert series lineup. This is Epcot's International Food and Wine Festival. The concerts will take place on select nights from August 29th through November 17th. There was a list of all the bands. I obviously am not going to go through all those because there's a lot. What I can do, I can put it up on our blog.
Yeah, do that because I was literally going to be like, okay, well, you sit over there and do you, and I will go search for the list because I'm curious. We can name a few of I suppose it's going to be generational too.
Yeah, the article did say there's a lot of the regulars. I think like Joey Fatone's always there, or he's there a lot. I didn't see all the regulars, but I'll put that up on our blog.
Yeah.
So
I want to check that out too.
Yeah, it's a big list. Like I said, that's
it's
why
for the entire festival.
Starting August
or
29th?
Not festival. Yeah, the food and wine starting.
Yep.
August through November. It's a long time.
August 29th through November 17th.
Yeah.
We were there. We were there in November. We
Yeah.
must have just caught the end of food and wine.
We were there in August also. Or no, we didn't go there though.
We didn't go to Epcot.
No, we didn't go to Epcot.
For the Halloween party.
Just went to the parties. Yep.
And over at Hollywood Studios, Walt Disney Imagineering filed their first permit for construction at the Muppet Vision 3D Theater. So that just closed. What was it? 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And they're already filing permits.
Wow.
So they're moving, which is a good thing. And under our miscellaneous tab,
I bet they keep something like near and dear, like a wall or some sort of memorabilia
there'll be
in there
Easter
for
eggs
sure.
in there for sure.
I wonder if they'll have a net full of Jell-O.
I don't know. They could. Yeah. You know, they should have.
I think they should have Kermit's tuxedo.
Or the two old Muppet guys that sit up in the balcony. They should have those
the two grumpy old men up there.
Yeah, they should just have them like somewhere sitting up in that theater still, like very unnoticeable. But you know, that would be funny.
Yeah, you know, it'd be kind of cute too, is if every so often you hear their voices going, "I can't believe they took it out. I can't believe they booted us. I can't believe they evicted us," or something. You know, just every so often they give a comment here or there.
That would be funny.
That would be.
And under miscellaneous news, Disney Blizzard Beach Water Park will close, presumably for its annual refurbishment in September. According to the operating calendar on the web page for Blizzard Beach, the water park will have its last day of operation on Sunday, September 7th. So that happens every year.
Mm-hmm.
But it's different this year, I think, so much last year, but this year because everybody gets a free water park on their check-in day.
Right.
And now you're going from 2 water parks to 1.
Right.
And people arrive at Disney World obviously every day by I'm sure the thousands. So hopefully the water parks, or the one water park, will be able to handle that capacity.
When you get your free water park day, you get to choose which water park.
Yeah, either one of them.
Okay. And the other one is going to be remaining open.
Yep.
So, per our trip, November.
Yep.
Is this still going to be closed? Yeah. So are we only narrowed to the one park for our visit in November?
I'm going to say, based on past, yes.
Okay, so it's going to be closed for a while.
Yeah, it usually does, but this may be different because of free water park day.
Yeah, but if they're going to pile everybody over into the other, at least they've got the other one up and running.
Right, yeah.
So I guess what I'm getting down to initially, and now I've got the answer, but just to clarify, we are going to still have the availability of a water park when we go in November.
Yes. Barring any weather events, there's always at least one open.
Okay.
Yep.
Because for some reason, I was thinking that they had one shut down for a long time.
Yeah,
it was even talk of maybe not even reopening because it has just sat for so long on it.
No, I don't think they were talking about not reopening it. One is very closed for a long time. I think summer's the only time they're both actually open all the time. I've never been to the water parks.
I know, that's why I'm excited to go, and I really would like. It would be nice to have the option, but as long as one or the other is open, we can still get a little bit of experience.
Wouldn't that be something? They advertise free water park on check-in day, and they're both closed.
Yeah, it's like an Alanis Morissette song. You got me quoting songs over here all night. Isn't it ironic? Okay, well.
That's the news.
Hey, we got one. We got one that we can still do.
Yeah, that is the news. So I guess it's time now for...
What are we doing?
Our week 2 winner.
Drum roll? Okay.
Again, while Joni gets situated over there, I'm going to explain how this works. Joni has the wheel spinner. I have the list of names. We are at opposite ends of a table. I cannot see her computer screen. She cannot see mine. I have all of our subscribers randomly numbered, and every person is assigned a number. Joni has the wheel spinner.
I will spin. I will give you the number. You will read the winner.
Exactly. That's how.
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell. Was I going way too?
Yeah, you were rambling.
I was giving you time to get ready over there.
I'm ready.
Oh,
I'm
you are?
ready. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go. You going to count me down?
3, 2, 1, spin. Here we go.
It's spinning.
Nice.
It's got a little ticker noise, but I know you guys can't hear it because we have the background noise muted. It's number 26.
Number 26. Let me get there. 26. Brenda. Congratulations, Brenda. Brenda, you have the numbers 1964 in your email address. So if your name is Brenda with the numbers 1964 somewhere in your email address, you are this week's winner.
Congratulations, Brenda.
Congratulations. Growth chart poster will be on the way. We will email you probably Tuesday or Wednesday to get your shipping information so we can get that out in the mail to you. So congratulations, Brenda.
Yeah, fantastic.
Week number 2 winner. Will you be week number 3 winner?
Yeah.
So we're going to get into our spotlight on attraction this week.
Okay.
This one is exciting.
Okay.
This closes out Tomorrowland.
Oh, yeah. So wait. Which one's left, guys? What's the last one?
Any guesses?
Who's been listening?
Who's been paying attention? There'll be a quiz on Monday.
Yeah.
It's Tron.
Okay.
The Tron Light Cycles. The newest. When I say the newest attraction at Magic Kingdom, I know Tiana's technically is when you're talking about big attractions, but Tiana's was rethemed. I'm going to say the newest constructed attraction at Magic Kingdom. So what do you got over there, Joni?
Well, I have that it is a thrill ride indoor and outdoor roller coaster. Let's see. The Disney description says, ready, set, launch into the exhilarating world of the grid at Tron Light Cycle Run. I do have some little side information on it before we get into some details. It's based on the 1982 film. Tron was a pioneer in using computer-generated imagery and live-action blending. The Light Cycle Run coaster is themed after light cycles from the movie and takes riders on a high-speed race through the digital world. So this ride, the vehicles are standard seating. They're designed like a motorcycle with guests leaning forward. That may not be suitable for all body types or those who prefer a more upright position. And as we've stated before in a previous show, there is a light cycle outside in the queue line that you are able to
test out
and see if it's comfortable for your fit. Because it does kind of squeeze you in. It comes up on your legs and behind your back, and you do have to lean forward, for all you motorcycle riders out there. You guys know exactly what we're talking about, but it can sometimes feel kind of constricting. In any case, this is a height requirement of 48 inches. It is 7 trains with 7 cars. The riders are arranged 2 across in a single row for a total of 14 riders per train. Now, if you have a wheelchair or a scooter type vehicle and you want to ride this, the scooters and electric vehicles are not allowed in the queue. You have to transfer to a wheelchair. Once you get to your train, you do have to be able to transfer into either the light cycle itself or for those folks who need a bench. There is limited benches. Just let one of the cast members know as you're approaching that that's what you would prefer.
Kind of like your more traditional roller coaster seat.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it has a side door, and it has a lap bar. Since these are limited, it does prolong the wait time, but the cast member can get you into the right area that you need to if you are a person who needs to have the bench seating as opposed to the Light Cycle Run. So this ride is a Lightning Lane single pass. So it is something that needs to be purchased on your own. Do you have any info on what that is?
I don't know the pricing because they fluctuate so bad, and I haven't even looked at the pricing recently, but it does. The more busy the park is, the more expensive it's going to be. But it is a standby queue as well. You don't have to buy the single pass.
Oh, okay.
I suggest it. Some people like to, some people don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it ranges, based on park capacity.
Well, and it is a cool ride. Obviously everybody knows that it lights up and the rims on the light cycles light up and the The canopy structures that are over the coaster, since it is indoor, outdoor, those light up. It's just a really, really cool.
Yeah. You stand under that canopy at night all day and just watch them go by, or all night and watch them go by, and the grid is lighting up.
It is so cool, guys. And so this ride does have an action photo. It is a 1 minute duration.
It is a pretty short ride.
It is a pretty short ride because it goes 60 miles an hour. I think this is the second fastest, test track being the first.
Is it?
I think this is.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong. If anybody knows, if I'm giving false information, please call me out. I've got tough skin. It won't hurt my feelings.
I can't think of one that would be the only one that maybe popped in my mind that would be close is Guardians, but I think Tron's faster than Guardians.
Yeah, I know. Well, Test Track, I think gets up to like 70 or something that, I think, or, mid 60s to 70. This ride opened up in Walt Disney World April 4th, 2023. So.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize. So we went April 20th in 2023 with the kids, our two kids. We just made it then.
Well, that's why it was so busy.
I was thinking it opened in February. Oh, wow. Okay.
No, I knew it. I knew that it, because I was wondering if it was going to be open when we got there. And I was hoping that it was, and I'm glad that it was, but it was a long wait for us. But we did buy, we
bought the passes,
we opted to buy the passes.
Because at that time it was virtual queue in passes, and we got shut out of the virtual queue. I remember that.
Yeah, we did try for the 7 and the 1, right? Is that the one you tried for the 7 and the 1?
Yes, we tried for the 7 a.m.
And then another thing we did, that's the one we did the rider swap on because one of our littles that was with us was too short to go. So anyway, that's always an option as well. So I think that's all I have for that guy. If you have anything to add.
I just have a little bit of history on it.
Okay.
So this, a Tron attraction first opened in Shanghai Disneyland in 2016. It is called Tron Light Cycle Power Run. It became an immediate hit. And so they wanted to bring it to Magic Kingdom in Florida, but they thought that, from what I read, it would be too compact in Tomorrowland. They didn't exactly know where they were going to do it. So they decided, obviously, where they put it in, and it took them a long time to build. 2020, the park shut down. I don't know how they didn't get it done faster than that, because the parks were shut down for a while.
As I've said before, they can build a boat in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And they built boats over COVID.
I want to say it took them like 5 years to build Tron.
Oh, my word.
I could be wrong, but it was something ridiculous. And so Shanghai is what got the ball rolling on Tron.
Super.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's in a great spot. You're saying that they were worried about spacing. Mm-hmm. I think it's got a huge amount of area up there.
Mm-hmm. Right next to Space Mountain, too. It's perfect.
I mean, it's just huge. There's just a lot of space.
Yep. And that's just what you can see of it. That ride, the building that you go into after the initial launch and you go outside, you go in that building. That's a big building, too.
Yeah. I mean, but just even the standing outside area.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Once you get off of it and it's got that big, concreted area, and then, it's just huge. Okay.
Yep. So that completes Tomorrowland.
Oh.
We are done with Tomorrowland. We might just keep doing lands. I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot easier to keep track of.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've got my highlighting going on over here. So
you are the organized one of us. I'm just like, I don't know.
I'll keep him in line, guys.
So that's our spotlight on attraction, and Joni's been doing some research on the first appearance of different Disney characters.
Yeah, movies rather. We were going to start out with trying to attempt to do birthdays.
There's so much conflicting information out there.
I'm getting 3 and 4 different dates, except for Donald and Mickey and the staples. But so anyway, we've kind of shifted gears here, and we're just going to do first appearances. So today, I want to start with the OG of the princesses.
Your favorite princess.
The original OG.
The first full-length animated movie.
Yeah, and in color and with sound. Anybody know what it is?
I'm going to guess Monsters, Inc.
Oh, yeah. Who's the princess there? Okay, guys,
Boo.
We're talking about Boo. We're talking about Snow White. Okay, so we're going to jump in right here real quick. And so I'm just going to go across on my notes here, some things that I've jotted down and learned, some things I didn't even know. And there's still some, rabbit holes to be gone down if I choose to do that in the future, or if you would like to investigate any of this yourselves. However, Snow White, in the timing of this filming, her age was 14. Her first appearance was Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It was December 21st, rather. In 1937, the runtime is 1 hour, 23 minutes. The creator is Hamilton Lusk, animator Mark Davis, and Walt Disney. And it's actually based on, so when I say creator and whatnot, I'm talking about the movie itself, but there is actually based on the Brothers Grimm, Snow White by the Brothers Grimm.
Isn't it wild to think that Snow White is 90 years old almost?
Yeah. She looks great.
She looks great.
She still looks 14.
But just the animation of it, 1937, and here we are in 2025. I think it's just wild. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's
just
fine,
wild. Because
I actually have a side note on that it's a groundbreaking animated film, the first full-length cel-animated feature film in color and with sound. It's Disney adaptation of the Grimm's brother fairy tale where Snow White, fleeing the evil stepmother, finds refuge with seven dwarfs. The film was a massive success, both critically and commercially, and is considered a landmark in animation history.
Well, yeah, it was
still going super strong. So going back, her occupation is a scullery maid.
Really?
And her spouse, if you want to put that quotely, as obviously the prince. Her nationality and location of the film, her nationality is she's German.
Okay.
And the location of this story takes place in the Black Forest in Germany. And speaking of Germany, there is a meet and greet with her in the Germany pavilion at Epcot.
That makes sense.
And now you had said something about Princess Hall, but it's not a constant.
Yeah, they kind of rotate the princesses over there, but from my understanding, she will show up in the I think it's called Fairy Tale Hall. I don't know, right behind the castle. Yeah, she will show
Magic
up there.
Kingdom.
Yes, in Magic Kingdom, but for sure
in Germany. Yep.
Germany pavilion.
And her sidekicks are, if anybody doesn't know, the seven little guys themselves: Doc, Sneezy, Grumpy, Happy, Bashful, Sleepy, Dopey. She's the first fictional character with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Guess what?
Really?
The first one.
I didn't know that.
And
I knew she was on there, but I didn't.
Guess what her title is under her star?
Princess?
Fairest one of all.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And her characteristic traits are that she's empathetic, nurturing, and polite. Now, they did have a movie come out after all this time. They hadn't messed with Snow White. And they'd had a movie come out March 21st, 2025. I have not seen it. I wanted to go see it. I don't know where we were. Oh, you know what? I do know where we were. Or no, we weren't on there. My birthday was in March.
Mm-hmm.
And we went on our first cruise. Well, my first cruise.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't around that time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think life just got busy and we just didn't make it to the movie. And now you can actually stream it on Disney Plus.
Yeah, it's available on Disney Plus now. Maybe we should
I
do
still
that.
have yet to see it. But it is Snow White is my favorite, so I'm kind of leery to watch it because you can't mess with the OGs.
Yeah. Any remake of any movie kind of makes you nervous.
Yeah.
Snow White, I remember watching when I was very little. I don't remember I was little and I remember seeing Snow White.
Mm-hmm.
But I had not watched it until I watched it with our granddaughter within the last year.
He's watched a lot of princess movies within the last few years.
We watched the original Snow White, and I was doing some work on the computer, so I was kind of, in and out, but it was not, I don't remember when I was little, but it was pretty good. And I remember even thinking, wow, this movie is 1937. This is as primitive as it seems. It's still impressive because it was 1937.
That's right. That's right. I agree. And all the details, it's just, I don't know. I think it's a great movie. Mm-hmm. And then I like the ride too.
Seven Dwarfs?
I know we're going to get into talking about the rides when we talk about the rides, but just even going through that queue, here's a little tip I'm going to tell you guys. I know we're not in that park or anything, but with the ride itself, if you get those barrels of jewels.
Oh, in the ride, yeah.
If you get everybody spinning those at the same time, you will witness a surprise detail on the ceiling.
Yep. The problem is getting everybody to do it.
Because, and you can't give up. Everybody has to do it, but people give up, or, you've got one person that won't spin this one or that one. I mean, and don't go, beat your neighbors and tell them to, spin it or kick them in the shins or something. But it is really cool.
Everybody's got to work together, and it's tough to get everybody to work together because the queue is moving.
Yeah.
And two,
and there's
kids in there and they're not listening. And
yeah. There's a lot to look at in there. The queue line's just cute in itself. You get the jewels, and you got the mining entrance, carved into the door, and the lanterns and things like that. It's just a cute area.
Yeah, I love that. I love that roller coaster.
Mm-hmm. So, but that's what I have on our famed Snow White.
Snow White, the OG princess.
That's right. Don't forget it. She's my girl.
It's a great way to start the series. We're going to get into our tip or trick. This one may seem obvious, but we're going to talk about it anyways. Is if you're staying at a Disney resort, you are eligible for 30 minutes of early entry park time. So this is 30 minutes before the park opens. You're eligible to get there. Now, our tip is to do it. And the reason why, there's a lot of reasons why, but you're paying for this. You're paying for this perk. So why not use it?
Yeah.
You can get one ride done and be in line for another ride before the park's officially open.
Right. You can get 2 rides out of the way. 2 of the biggest rides. You can get the best, the longest waiting rides, or at least one.
At least
one. And be on your way to the other one.
Yep.
While everybody's scrambling to get to their first one of the day. And like I said, if you need to take a break later in the day, to compensate that time, when the crowd is larger and the sun is hotter, then take a break then. Yep. But take advantage of your extra time that you've paid for, like Nick said.
And this even works out really good with if you're buying Lightning Lane multipass for the day, because you can only schedule one tier 1 pre-booking. You can only schedule one tier 1. So let's take a park like Epcot. If Frozen and now Test Track. What's this?
Remy.
Yeah, Remy and we'll say Remy and Frozen. Two of the hardest rides to get to because they're just so popular.
Well, they're opposite ends too.
Yeah, Remy's way in the back, which if you're on the Skyliner, it's right there. But Frozen is not close to it. So, you schedule one for a tier 1, and you can early entry the other one.
Yeah.
So you can get them both done.
Yep.
Like we did that. We stayed at Animal Kingdom,
but we've not always stayed at Animal Kingdom.
No.
We've stayed at Pop and.
Yeah, but what I'm getting into, we only had bus transportation from Animal Kingdom.
Yep.
So what we did, we took a bus to Hollywood Studios. I think we got on the first bus to Hollywood Studios. We jumped on the Skyliner from Hollywood Studios to get to Epcot so we could early entry Remy. So, yeah, and then that one's one of the biggest rides in all Walt Disney World to get. It's out of the way.
And when we got off that, we were like, it was still a little bit of a wait, and we got there. Now, they do have specific stroller parking, so please just be mindful of that so you're not running over your neighbors. And be kind and let the daddies and the mommies in that are dropping the stroller off so they can be back with their families, because I saw that not happening a whole lot.
Yeah. Don't run. Please don't run.
Everybody's going to get there. But the line was still a little long for being a first ride. But I'll tell you what, coming out, it was all the way back.
Oh, yeah.
It was ridiculous. Just insane.
Once they got they started moving the rides, the line went okay. But it was, when you first get there, even early entry, you're like, oh, wow.
Well, and I think that's exactly the thing. So you have your second rope area.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
So they don't let you just free into once you go through the turnstile, you can't just go up and get right in the queue line.
They hold you at another place.
You have to be stopped at another area. And that's where a lot of shifting happens, and where a lot of people, might not be the best role models, and they want to cut, and they want to, not everybody, but you have those that want to rush their way to the front. But just be patient. You're going to get there.
Be patient. You're there in early entry. So. But yeah,
you got an advantage as
exactly.
from a lot of people that are not staying it.
Yep.
And and it's supposed to be the happiest place on earth, not.
Yep, you're paying for it. Take advantage of it. Use it.
Yeah.
It works to your benefit for sure. They used to do an hour. I think that was pre-park closure, but now they're doing 30 minutes. I wish they would bring that back. But
yeah, but still,
there's a lot of stuff
if you
that
use your
hasn't come
time
back.
wisely, you
Yeah.
follow. I mean, now if you're one that wants to hop back and forth from, one end of the park to the other, I am not. I'm one who likes to just
Go in a circle.
finish an area and just follow my pathway around, because it's the less walking, it's the less exhaustion and less crowd you got to deal with. And you have more time to, I think, sightsee, and notice all the little hidden Easter eggs that are around, which we haven't even found a fraction of them. We found a lot, but there's many, many, many more. But just take your time. You'll get there.
Another thing with that, especially with the Lightning Lane multipass, so we early entried Remy. This is going back to Epcot. Test track was closed. We early entried Remy, and then we wanted to do Soarin'. So we chose that as our tier 1, and we're like, we'll just get Frozen day of, because we knew Frozen would be booked up. Frozen never opened up that day, and I checked often. Luckily, we had extended evening hours that night for Epcot, and we were able to get on it. But that's another reason to early entry your ride if you just think, something will open up that day.
Get it later.
Yeah.
You're always running. Well, I mean, I think it's all risky.
It is.
It's all a toss of a coin,
Yep.
But the more you do it, I mean, and not everybody has the option to go multiple times. So for those people, I would just, it is, they're big parks, guys, and you're not going to be able to get everything done if you don't have a strategy, or if you have littles with you or elderly that need more breaks, or, things like that. You can get a lot done if you are rush, and please be kind to your spouse and your kids and your parents, or, whoever you're traveling with, because it can be very stressful, and that's not what it's.
Yes, it can be stressful, but just don't think a ride's going to open up, because it may not.
Yeah.
Probably won't. Honestly,
just keep that in your mind when you're planning, and don't let it ruin your trip. Just go find something else fun to do.
Yep. And the buses and or Skyliner, whatever your mode of transportation for that park is, they will have the time scheduled when they're going to leave. And even talk to the cast member at the front desk of your resort, and they're like, hey, what time does the bus usually leave for Magic Kingdom? First bus to Magic Kingdom in the morning. And they'll give you an idea.
Yeah.
So you know when to be out there.
And you can also check with your front desk for the departure times, as far as, if you're even allowed for early entry. They'll know that too, if they are a hotel that honors that. If
yes,
you are
like
unaware,
good neighbors. Yeah.
If you are unaware if your hotel qualifies for the 30-minute early entry, just check with your front desk at your hotel.
Yeah, all Disney resorts will, and good neighbors, I don't know if all do, but a lot do.
Do we have something we can put up?
Yeah, we can look into that. We
can get something posted out there for all the hotels that do this feature.
Because I know when we were looking at to stay at one of the good neighbors, the good neighbor that we were going to stay at did not qualify for it. I called and asked Disney actually, and they said no, that one doesn't. So I don't know how they decide who does and who doesn't.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to do it this week.
Okay.
Congratulations to our week 2 winner. We will be talking to you soon, emailing you soon this week. Get your mailing address.
Thanks for playing, Brenda.
Yeah.
And your name's going to go in for the card drawing as well.
Yep.
Okay.
You can visit our Facebook page at Main Street Talk. Our Facebook group is Disney World's Tip and Talk. Our Instagram is Main Street Talk Podcast, and our website is mainstreettalkpod.com. That's where everything is. So tell your friends and family to go there and subscribe to our email list to get in this contest. You can contact me for a Disney vacation, all Disney destinations. My services are free to use. There's also a link on our website to get a free quote, and that'll come right to me, and I will get in contact with you. My email is nick.garcia@academytravel.com, and we are also affiliates of the Magic Candle Company, the theme park sense. Bring them all with you. So that's it for this week's show. We'll be back next week with week number 3 of our big contest and all the latest Disney tips and news updates. So we will talk to you real soon.
Bye, everybody.